Welcome, Chicago's own Shayne Evans, founder and president of the Academy Group.
This guy right here. All right. Testing. Okay. My name is Shayne Evans. I'm founder and president of the Academy Group. I'm going to start with my ask at the front. I'm going to actually ask that everybody here believe that not only is Jeremy going to do well in his current job, that he's going to, in fact, do the very damn thing that he said he wanted to do. Because what we've built the Academy Group on is agency and belief. 8 years ago, we founded this company based on this concept that talent is ubiquitous, but opportunity is not. In other words, all of us have superpowers, but we don't often have the resources, support, opportunity, and access to develop them. I'm almost surprised, considering the current state of affairs, that we haven't talked about this more, but the wealth gap in America is really probably one of the key things that excites us about this work. We know, for instance, that in Boston, white families have a net worth of $247,000, and black families have a net worth of $8. That when some young people in the black community finally make it to be a middle-class member of society, 7 out of 10 of those young folks will end up regressing to lower class. That's not about talent. That's about opportunity. Through a chance meeting that I had with our lead investor, Mark Walter, about 9.5 years ago. He's a founder of Guggenheim Partners. He's the owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. We were in his office, and he said, well, do you believe that black and brown kids could become great investment bankers? I looked at Mark and I said, well, where I'm from, all we do is mitigate risk. We just don't have access to a Bloomberg machine. We talked about it. We had about 5, 6 more meetings. And in October 2016, he put up a significant amount of money and invested it in 2 existing black-owned financial services companies. Hence, you see our model here, which is pretty unique, one of the only of its kind in America. We invest in these companies. Those companies do what they do. They make profits. The Academy Group gets our portion of those profits, and then we invest those funds into 1,000 young people in Chicago, Boston, Los Angeles, and Detroit. To what end? To do 2 things. One, to prove that talent's ubiquitous. We take students in 3rd grade by lottery. No test scores, no attendance, no grades, right? No interviews, no essays. Simple piece of paper. Get 1,000 applications, we choose 60 students. The second thing that we wanted to prove was that once given the opportunity, our young people would not only earn a job, but would crush a job, right? That could not only work at the company, but could lead the company. So we've got a human talent pipeline, right, where we invest in young people and we invest in companies, ultimately with the goal that those young people will become educational and economic agents of change. We heard about the South Side earlier. The young brother right here talked about it. Jeremy talked about it. I could talk about it. It's 9 miles away from here. Sometimes it feels like it might as well be 900 miles. But the way that we're going to change it together, and as part of the Academy Group, is we want to empower our young people to change the South Sides of America by being economic change agents. How is that working out for us so far? We're in 4 cities, 1,000 young people, as I said. That's the best. The Cubs are the best team up there, even though our lead investor does own the Dodgers, but that's another story. This is what we do with those funds. We help students launch their own businesses, They earn $25,000 for college on the front end. We pay off any student loan debt they have when they graduate if it's in their name. We start individualized tutoring in 4th grade, college visits in 8th grade. Students can travel internationally in 9th grade, their first paid internship their senior year of high school. So it's a full, comprehensive program. As Mark Walter would say, what would you do for your kids? And that's what we've tried to do. It's a huge investment. So I want to say very clearly that that type of access to resource might not be scalable, but I'm going to double down on my ask. But belief is. It was his belief that something like this was possible that allowed him to invest in it. It's our young people's belief in themselves that not despite where they come from, but because of where they come from, right, they would do big things. It's paying off. We have an 88% college graduation rate. That's not great for black and brown students, that's great for America. Our students come out making on average $71,000 a year in their first starting job. So they are doing phenomenally, and of course they would. I'm also going to ask, and I think one of the presenters talked about this earlier, that it was an innovative approach, that the businesses that we invested in, of course, wanted the capital, but they also had to believe in the young people. And so one of the companies that we invest in, CFI Partners, black-owned, LaVoyd Robinson, Howard graduate, another brother from the west side of Chicago. We don't want to get into that beef real quick, but he's the ex-Citadel guy. They've been open for about 18 years. When we met and made that investment in LaVoyd's shop, they had 13 people on staff. Now they have 45. When we first met LaVoyd at that time, he had about $8 million under management. Now they have $6 billion under management. And they've been walking hand in hand with us on this journey. This young man, Aurelio, comes from the southeast side of Chicago, went to a non-selective enrollment high school. We know what that is in Chicago. Went to University of Illinois, is first in his family. He's now an investment analyst at CFI. He's making 6 figures, right? He's taking care of his family, and he also wants to open up his own financial literacy institutions in the community. We've got lots of young people like this in the Academy Group. There's not just one of them, there's hundreds of them. And that's our expectation, because we, of course, believe, right, that they could lead CFI and that they could lead Cleveland Avenue, right? Just like Mike Abronte, the founder of Out the Box Creative, who's doing the videography today, just like Dr. Jackson, who created this Win-WinWorkplaceSummit. We believe that our young people from any zip code are possible from doing anything. And that Cubs hat, by the way, even though I'm a Southsider, that's because I got that from my father, right? One of the few things I got from him, actually. Super violent guy, died a violent death, murdered when I was 12 by my half-brother. And all I could tell you is that the odds would say that I would never be on this stage right now doing this thing, leading this company. But I can also tell you I'm far from the most talented young person I ever met. I taught, was a school principal, superintendent. I am not an exception, right? I am not exceptional. I'm actually just lucky enough that I got the opportunity and some resources to be up here. So thank you, Dr. Jackson, for putting this on. Thank you for your attention. What I could ask for you is any kind of introductions to anyone who'd like to give us or our young people an internship. Enjoy the rest of the day.